in Rancho Verde. What a great day this is out on the trails at San Mateo Canyon in Redlands. I thought maybe I'd stop and talk about this question of the week for you. Taking a break on the trail out here, I'm going to answer this question for you, but first we're going to look at the word vacillate. Vacillate means to alternate or waver between different opinions or actions, to be indecisive. Questions like this are called vocabulary in context questions. Vocabulary in context means that the test makers aren't as concerned with you knowing the dictionary definition, that is the denotation of a word, as they are concerned with you knowing about how a word works in real life or how it works in the context of a sentence that they give you. So they're really looking for connotation, and connotation is what a word means in real life, the way we actually use it. It might be a figurative meaning or something we infer from the sentence. So let's take a look at this sentence. When I first saw where we were going to live, I vacillated between feeling terrified and excited. And they want to know, what does the author communicate to the reader with this term vacillated? Well, the trick here is to look at the sentence and figure out the context. Well, this sentence gives me a really strong clue. In the second part of it says between feeling terrified and excited. So you get the sense that this person is going back and forth between two different things, back and forth, back and forth. In fact, you can kind of think of a seesaw. Think of going back and forth, and you're never settling on one thing. So let's take a look at the responses. A says the narrator's emotions were in conflict. Conflict shows me going back and forth between two things, so vacillation works there. So I'm going to pick that one. Let's take a look at B. The narrator had trouble deciding how to feel. So deciding, again, you're making a decision, you're going back and forth, you can't decide. That shows vacillation. If we look at C, C is kind of tricky. It says the narrator was scared and thrilled at the same time. This sentence, if we look at this, it says the same time, one thing at once. That's not a vacillation, technically. So I'm not liking this one as much and not choosing it right away. Maybe if there aren't better examples, then I'll go back to that one, but for the time being, I'm putting a question mark by it. D says the narrator kept changing her mind about the situation. Again, changing her mind, switching back and forth between two things. I think about a seesaw. I think about two different decisions being made back and forth. This one works. So now I have my three, A, B, and D. Let's take a look at E. The narrator stopped being scared and began to feel happy. Again, this is one thing at a time, right? Not a vacillation. She was one thing and then changed to another. On the actual test, sometimes you read a passage before you get a question like this. So that's the case on this one. Let's take a look at the paragraph here. This paragraph is all about moving. And here's the sentence. When I first saw where we were going to live, I vacillated between feeling terrified and excited. So if I go back to this passage, and I'm a little confused, let's say about response C, where response C said the narrator was scared and thrilled. We can go back and look at the context of the passage and find out if we really mean scared and thrilled. So if we look at this, we can see that in terrified and excited, if I highlight those words, the connotation of excited, really based on the next sentence, is about being on an adventure. And so that's not excitement in the sense of in the sense of like being thrilled, like on a roller coaster or something. And if I look at terrified, that really shows that there's some anxiousness about the move, that the narrator's not necessarily scared, like, you know, a horror movie or some horrible thing happening. Well, that's about it. I'm gonna go ride.